good afternoon. Many of you are joining here again for probably the seventh or eighth time that NewApro is doing the workshop. Thank you for joining today's workshop on workflow automation using n8n and GenAI, brought to you definitely by NewApro. I'm your host for the day, and I'll be guiding you through this session. A quick introduction about me before we get started. I am Shivpriya Sumba. I head the marketing for NewApro. While I won't be the one leading you into the deep dive session, which our expert would be taking. I'll be your anchor and be available over here to answer any of the questions that you have. Just a couple of questions that I'm answering over here. Yes, the session is recorded and you will receive a YouTube link for it in probably a week. However, since the lab access would be limited to just today and just for this particular session, we would request all of you to kind of take and encourage all of you to take the hands-on session today, as that suffices to the actual learning. Then the next question was about the access. Yes, the access would be limited to particularly today's workshop itself. Third would be about the support. If you're not able to log in, please email into the pinned email ID and our support team would be answering to you straight away. So thank you so much. This workshop is focused on workflow automation using no-code platforms and GenAI. And it can supercharge your processes about without writing a single code of line. We'll definitely explore through Agentic AI, the n8n ecosystem, but most definitely the live hands-on exercises using GenAI and n8n. And for sure, you'll definitely get to build some real-world workflows, which you must have gone through in the actual event page that we had. So it's not just going to be a watch and learn session. You're definitely going to get your hands dirty, and that's where all the learning begins. About NewApro, let me also take a moment to talk about NewApro Technologies. We are a leading project readiness solutions platform, and we are here to address and to build the readiness gap between learning and the real world project execution. We believe that skill development and project learning comes only through the actual doing, and that's what NewApro enables. It enables the real world scenario based hands-on project readiness solutions for enterprises for edtechs and for higher educational institutes. You can go on to www.newapro.com, check out our website, see what sort of solutions we provide. And for sure, if today's session excites you, that's exactly the kind of learning environment NewApro creates every day. And we'd be happy to take personalized demos as well, like today's session for all of you. Now, there's also something that you definitely like. Everyone who completes today's hands-on session and exercises will receive a certificate of participation from NewApro. And from all the people who completed the session today, we'll definitely select 3 winners based on the engagement and the completion ratio, and will receive prizes and rewards from Amazon. So if you find today's workshop also valuable, we would really appreciate if you review us on g2.com. My colleague from marketing team would share a link with you right now. And as a thank you, we'll definitely, our reviewers will definitely stand a chance to win the Amazon voucher rewards. If you're putting up a reward to us, please email me. My email address would be shared in the chat. It's shivpriya@newapro.com, and we'll definitely reward it back with you. So we'd appreciate your reviews as well. So don't forget to share your feedback on this particular session. Um, Moving ahead, I'm excited to introduce our CEO and co-founder, Giridhar, who's also the first speaker for today. He's the co-founder and CEO at NewApro and holds around 33 years of experience in the industry. He's also an ex-Mindtree, and he's been on the front lines of enterprise learning and project readiness solution and talent transformation for the last 3 decades. And I can for sure say that his passion lies in solving the readiness gap, and which aligns with knowing the difference between knowing and doing. And while we go to Giridhar, I would strongly mention that I strongly encourage all of you to connect with him on LinkedIn as well and explore his thoughts and perspectives. He shares most powerful insights on delivery readiness and readiness gap and talks about his own experiences. So yeah, over to you, Giridhar.
Thanks, Shivpriya. It's great to see such a large number of people who are interested to learn by making their hands dirty. Let me take a few moments to talk a little bit about what NewApro is. I'll start by sharing my screen. So as Shivpriya said, Nuvapro is a project readiness enabling organization. And just to make this point very clear to all of you, there are many training organizations and there are many training methods. And typically, training is associated with watching a video. And we basically look at training as two distinct parts. One is the theory, and the second one is the hands-on or the practicals part. And Nuvapro's specialty is on the practicals part, which is we enable any kind of learning or training with hands-on activities because that's where we think the training actually sticks. And this thing about project readiness, what we define is that a person who is project ready is ready to contribute on day one. So that's what we put in here, ready on day one of getting into a project. You're able to make a meaningful impact. Quickly about the products which Nuapro brings to the table, primarily four of them. You will be going through a couple of them today. We start off with the sandboxes on the lower left-hand side. So sandboxes are real-world environments, which is having all the software tools installed. So when you clicked on step one today, you brought up a sandbox. In this particular case, it had all the tools required for you to run n8n. Then we have practice projects. These are basically scenarios again. Once you completed your learning or in the middle of your learning, you want to do something real world to understand what has been built. So again, today you will be doing a practice project because there are two scenarios which Rajesh will be going through. He will be guiding you on a step-by-step method on how to move from one to the next. Uh, and this is real world, right? So it is not some make-believe thing. These are two cases which are there. Apart from that, we also have assessments in case you do not get guidance but how to solve a problem that becomes an assessment. In our case, we also have this is auto graded so that you don't have to wait to get the result. It can come almost immediately. And in case you are in a particular role and you're looking for to move from say beginner to an intermediate level or beginner to a master level, then we can give you a skill bundle, which is a combination of projects and assessments. So these are quickly our products. Then the use cases which we bring to the table. On the skills validation side, we have assessments which cover progression, measuring learning effectiveness. Then, if you are somebody who's having a niche or a non-demand skill, then you can be eligible for a skill bonus in your organization, so we can help measure that. And the last one is about measuring project readiness. This comes into play where, especially with service organizations, if you need to go through a customer interview, then a solution or assessment from our side can help you prepare for that. And overall, from the upskilling side, these are some of the use cases which we go through. And basically helping somebody again move from just knowing things to actually implementing, doing it, and then showing the skill, right? Not going through all of them here. But basically, these are our two core focus areas, skills validation and upskilling. Again, want to state that our USP is hands-on. Then list of the customers we work with. We do know that there are representatives from many of these organizations with us. As you can see here, in the top, from the top 10 IT service organizations in India and probably top 10 IT service organizations in the world, we work with almost eight of them. And again, where we come in is as the partner who can really get their workforces ready to start contributing in a project. So that is quickly what I wanted to talk about, and hope you all have a great time today. N8n, which Rajesh is going to show you, is one of the tools among many similar ones, which have got like supercharged with GenAI coming into the picture. And he will be able to tell you more about where n8n can be used, how it can help you make your day-to-day work better. And at the end of it, I would say all of us should become empowered more with GenAI. So let's get ready for this exciting workshop and look forward to all of you having a great time today. And thank you and all the best. So, Shivpriya, back to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Girdhar. Just one question that I wish to answer regarding the particular session. Your mics would be enabled towards the end of the session when we have the Q&A with our expert Rajesh today. Since our participation number is huge this time, it will slightly get delayed and difficult if we don't start the session. Support team would be there to answer your questions. And meanwhile, if you have Q&A related to what we are sharing today and what we are learning today, Rajesh would be answering all of those questions. So straight away diving into it, I'd like to introduce our expert speaker for today, who will be your guide through the next couple of hours, Mr. Rajesh Vasudevan. Rajesh is the co-founder and the technical director of delivery at Pro and brings over 20 years of experience in the tech space. His deep technical acumen and practical mindset are one of the key factors in for Pro to deliver hands-on experiences at scale. So he'll be guiding us through the technical deep dive today and the live demo session. So over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Shivpriya. Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Shivpriya, for the introduction. Let me quickly share my screen. I think we are good to start. Chat, can you I don't know if I was audible before, so I'll start again. Let me start by sharing a quick recap of my journey in this industry. I have seen this industry evolve in the last 2.5 decades. So, like many of us in the same experience bracket, we have seen it all, right? We have started off probably as in a technical role as a programmer or a tester, and then probably moved on to some leadership roles, project management, account management, and whatnot, right? So we have done that, and we have worked. I have worked in IT services, products, and platforms. So what is the reason I'm recapping all this? Because with the advent of Gen AI and Agentic AI, all aspects of what we do are rapidly transforming, right? And there is everything is getting affected. There is nothing that is going untouched with the advent of AI and agentic AI, workflow automations and stuff like that. So I see that the transformation or the transition to the new way of doing things is a little bit challenging. People perceive it as challenging to adapt. Especially for those who are no more into coding or development roles. Here at Nuvepro, we have formed a very focused group called Workflow Intelligence and Solution Enabler Group. We call ourselves the WISE group, right? To help organizations and individuals to adapt to this new way of doing things. And I assure you, the reason why I gave a recap of my experiences because we feel that the AI is changing things and we are slow to adapt. But in this workshop, I assure you that we will see that without much of a coding, very less coding or no coding, how we can also transform the way we work, how our organizations can also transform the way they do things. So having said that, let's quickly get into the session. So in the next 2 hours, we plan, sorry. Yeah. In the next 2 hours, we plan to cover this broad agenda. We will understand why workflow automation. We all understand that, otherwise we won't be here in this session. We will introduce some scenarios and understand workflow automation through this scenario. We will introduce n8n as a tool for using workflow automation. Many of you may be already familiar with this, but still we will look at that. And then we will quickly dive into hands-on. We will try to automate as many scenarios as possible in this short period of time. Okay, so what is workflow automation and why should we do that, right? The obvious is increased efficiency, accuracy, scalability, and things like that. See, if you look at the value proposition for organizations, we can definitely improve. So if you're in a leadership team, then you might be thinking about automation, workflow automations. So basically, we can improve the turnaround times. We can increase the productivity of our workforce. we can shrink the delivery timelines and we can definitely reduce the cost. So these are some of the key benefits of adopting workflow automation at the earliest. And I would say the biggest advantage is for individuals, right? Especially for business users and thought leaders, because it enables such roles across all functions. So now automation and intelligent automation has become accessible to people who are not only limited to development and tech, right? You think of HR, you think of recruitment, you think of finance, procurement, sales, marketing, you think of anything, say IT ops, document ops, facilities, right? Group, we often say that it's the least technical. So automation and intelligence has become accessible to all of these groups. And there is no prerequisite that you have to be technical, you need to code, you need to develop, you have to be a developer and things like that. So these are low code, no code platforms, which will allow you to automate your workflow in an intelligent fashion. We used to have the traditional RPAs. So RPAs were very good, but they were process automations where there is a fixed checklist kind of a thing. So now with the AI and GenAI and Agentic AI, what we are capable of doing is intelligent workflow automation. So we'll see how some of this in action. So now we will quickly jump into a scenario just to set the context or to understand the scenario. We will look at KYC validation. All of us have done a KYC validation at some point or the other, where you submit your document and then supporting documents, and it takes weeks, if not a couple of months for things to get done. So rather than talking about it, probably I'll show you a demo of how a KYC automation is done within a few minutes. The verification validation, whether it is good to go, whether it is not good to go, can be done in a few minutes. So this is a scenario that we actually automated for a leading multinational bank within say 2 nights or something. So it's not the production quality automation, but this is a proof of concept that I would like to showcase. Jumping straight into a demo. I'm going to run this workflow. So here is the workflow. I'm just going to run this. I'm going to also turn on my camera because there is a reason for that. So I have a couple of files which I have already filled in, which is one is the KYC file, and then there is a passport that I am submitting as my supporting document. And once the KYC is submitted, what is happening is a series of workflow is getting triggered, as you can see. I'm just zooming in. So the workflow is getting triggered here, where the document, which is the KYC, as well as the supporting document, which is the passport, is extracted and then intelligently processed and compared. And then we are also blending in two additional integrations. One is an email integration and one is a call integration. At this point, there is a call integration and then there is a email integration where it will check whether the KYC is a pass or a fail. And if it is a pass, then it will email the customer. If it is a fail, it will email the customer with the failure reasons and also give a phone call to the customer saying that there is a issue with your KYC, and the call is a voice-based call. An AI agent will be placing the call. We are almost at the end of this workflow where the comparison logic is currently in action. So I can expect to receive a call anytime now on my phone as well as an email. I'm switching to my email. So I'm getting a call, as you can see. Yeah. Sometimes, Teams will filter out the voice, but I'll try to answer this call. This is an AI agent calling. Meanwhile, I have also received an email with all the details of why my KYC has failed and all the other reasons. So I can even resubmit the KYC, and that is how the workflow will flow. So as you can see, the call has come and then it is giving me reasons. Some of the voice is getting filtered off. So moving on. So this is just to share how workflow automation can be achieved using for various scenarios that will that we face every day, which takes months and weeks altogether. So as you can see, one iteration of the KYC was done within maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Imagine the amount of time and effort that is saved. Moving on, I'll be sharing my screen again. I hope you have all logged into your lab, at least to the point where you are able to access your um, lab environment. The rest of the thing we will walk through while we are doing the workshop.
I just want to answer the query. If you're not able to hear the voice of the AI, it is because the Microsoft Teams, it filters out the voices from the external device. That is the only reason.
I can repeat that if time permits towards the end. It's
Thank you
very
so much,
nice
Rajesh.
and it's a fun thing to talk to the AI. Right. Am I audible, Shivpriya?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes. So here are some of the common workflow automation tools which are AI enabled. There are many more. This is not the full list. So you might have used some of these. But for this workshop, we'll be using the n8n platform. We preferred n8n for this workshop for only a few reasons that I thought I would highlight. n8n is a workflow automation platform, which is a hybrid platform. Okay, and it actually supports intelligent workflows. Main thing is that it is a low code, no code platform with a visual editor, which is good for the beginners. But at the same time, n8n has advanced, it can handle any kind of advanced scenarios, even if you are a serious, developer. It has a very strong developer focus. It can also, there are certain agentic AI platforms like Crew AI, which has fabulous AI agents and a swarm or a crew of agents. So n8n has recently introduced features like AI agent tool node or a mode selector node and things like that. You can explore these further, which allows n8n to be a serious agentic AI contenter and can take care of any kind of scenarios where autonomous thinking is also required. So workflow automation is mostly about things that we usually do. For example, resume filtering for HR is something that we can think of. Right, KYC is something that we can think of. There is certain set of processes that we can automate along with certain intelligence built into the workflow. Now, agentic AIs or agent-based agentic AI platforms have more autonomy. So n8n also allows these kind of autonomy to be built into the system. So that is why n8n is a fabulous platform to begin with. Also, it gives us a Docker-based or an NPM-based installation, which can be done on your laptop or your own system. In addition to the SaaS model that they support, there are certain small limitations with respect to the local installation, but to start with, this is absolutely fine. This is something that was already covered by Giridhar, our CEO. So we'll move on. I hope we are almost at the verge of starting the hands-on. I hope you have all access to your lab, at least the step one, where you have logged in to the labs platform from Nuvepro and then accessed your lab and started your lab. So please remember that there is a certain sequence to doing these things. Definitely follow this sequence. Once you do step one, and then only move on to step two, and so on and so forth. Because there are certain, for example, the OpenAI API keys to be used in the exercises that we'll be performing. So make sure that we complete step 1 and step 2 before we start the first exercise. So today we will be doing 2 hands-on scenarios. First one, we will reverse the order. We will do a scenario for the HR and recruitment. We will try to screen a resume against a job description, which is already published by the organization. So we'll take 2 of these as input and see how workflow automation with certain amount of intelligence built into it can do a quick resume comparison with the JD. Usually the recruitment team need not understand the technical nuances of a role. So this kind of an automation will definitely help the recruitment team in having a proper shortlisting. It can even generate a certain score in addition to what are their strengths, where is the overlaps, where is the gaps, and share it to the interview panel. So let's dive straight into the hands-on. Please go to your labs. I am going to share my screen for this. At any stage, if you feel that there is we are going a bit fast, we feel free to let me know. I'll check with you guys whether we are going at a pace which is comfortable for the larger group. Also, if you have issues with the lab, please drop an email to the email address that is shared in the chat. We have a wonderful group of support engineers who are supporting us. They'll be more than happy to help and quickly resolve the issues. Please do not put them in the chat because that is not the chat is not monitored by my support group. Please send an email. If we have discussions, points to discuss, things about the n8n and workflow automation, please, or if you have questions, please feel free to put that into the chat. But lab related issues or if you have problems accessing your lab, please send an email. The chat is not monitored by the support group. Thank you. So let's first get into this. This is the interface that you would see once you log in. I have logged in already and I can click on the lab. So you'll be having a interface like this. You have to click on the start lab. Once the lab is started, you can click on the web desktop that will load the lab environment into your browser. Now that you have this lab up and running, I hope you have already started this lab. We can straight away dive into adding an OpenAI API key to the n8n environment. So how do we do that? What I will do is I'll open this in a different tab so that I can refer to this and work on my lab side by side. That's how we will do it. This will help us switch between the 2 windows, refer to the documentation and do our lab practice. So what is an open API key? It might sound a bit complicated, but basically it is a unique identifier which will give you access to the OpenAI's AI models, right? You would have heard about ChatGPT, GPT, DALI, and all. So there are various models or LLMs that are available, small, mini, micro, large models which are available, which can be accessed through the OpenAI. So this is the API key which is provided by NuePro for this workshop, which we will configure into the n8n. n8n is the workflow automation environment. So we have to make use of the OpenAI's models to bring the intelligence into our workflows, right? So rather than being a very dumb workflow, we will add certain intelligence into that. So to do that, how do we do that? Open your lab environment. There is a shortcut called n8n UI. If you see this, it will be the same for everybody. It's an exact replica of the same lab that I am using. Double click on that. It will launch the n8n environment into your browser. Go to credentials. In this middle section, you will see credentials. Click on that. You can refer to the documentation as well. It is also telling you to do the same thing, right? So if you are prompted with the login for the n8n, you can use your email address. Sorry, labuser@n8n.com is the user ID, and green apple 987 hash is the password. It won't prompt. We have made the lab come up with no prompt. So you may skip this and you will be in the screen. So once you are in the screen, you can click on add first credential. And in this screen, you can paste the API key which is shared with you. And once you are done with that, you can click save, and you can see that this string is coming, connection tested successfully. Make sure that this green message is received. Connection tested successfully message is received, without which we will not be able to proceed any further. This is a very important step because this is our brain in the workflow. So make sure that you have this properly configured. So that's it. We have now successfully configured the OpenAI's API key into the n8n environment. Now we are good to start with the scenario, that is the candidate shortlisting. So basically, we will be
Just to show the steps again, Rajesh.
sure.
Open API.
Definitely. So you have to type OpenAI, and then there will be Microsoft. Don't take that. Take OpenAI. Click on continue. So in the API key, you can click here in the documentation, and step number 5. You can click on that. That will copy the key into the clipboard. Step number 5. You hover the mouse over that, you will see that click here button is changing color. Click that. Come back here and paste the key. Nothing else. Just click on save. And you will see that the connection is tested all by itself. You should be seeing a green message, connection tested successfully. Shall we move forward? I hope this is done. Okay. So now we will move to, you can access your exercise 1 like this, candidate shortlisting. That will load the documentation for candidate shortlisting. So the prerequisite we have already completed. We have started our lab and we have also created our API key. Right. Now let us move on to create our first workflow. Coming back to the lab, and I am going to create workflow. An empty canvas. This area is called the canvas, and we have nothing here. So let us follow the documentation. So I can give a name to my workflow, candidate shortlisting. I can. So the workflow that we are trying to automate today is something like, we will upload maybe a job description that the organization has published. And for this workflow, it would have been nicer if we had a batch processing for all the resumes that come in, or as and when it comes in, we can, have a trigger and pick it up. But for simplicity, what we will do is we'll upload one resume and a JD, job description, and then do certain categorization and classification, some benchmarking, etc., using the LLM. So I'll click on add. So let me just go along with the documentation. So first, to accept the inputs from the user, I need a form. So I'm going to search for a form in the node list. So form. So it's an n8n form. You will see one node called n8n form. I'll just hold n8n form. So this is a event trigger because this is the first node that will start off the entire workflow. So I have selected that. Are you with me so far? So at any point, if I have to go back to the canvas, just click outside this area, it will go back and I can save. I can save by clicking this, or I can do a Control S that will save that. So if I have to configure the node again, I can double click on that. It will bring up this screen. This is a standard screen mostly for all n8n nodes. So this is a form submission. I can give a title to this form, say candidate screener. Can give a description. And I can add form elements, right? In this case, I'm going to accept a job description. And what is the form description? It's a file. And am I allowing multiple files to be uploaded? No, job description is one. And what is the file type? I am accepting PDF. I can do a comma separated, multiple formats can be supported. But for now, I am giving PDF. Is it a required field? Absolutely yes. Okay, now the job description part is done. As you can see, if I execute the workflow, it will load up that screen. See, as simple as that. How much code did we write? Right? So it's that simple. So coming back, I need one more field for my resume upload. I'm adding that upload a resume. Same repetition, right? This is also a file. So I'll select file. Again, single file. File type is .pdf. This is also a mandatory field because I at least need one job description and one resume to compare. That is why I am giving it as a mandatory field. So just to recap, I gave a form title. I gave a form description. I added on a form element. The first element is to upload job description. Sorry, what we call as a JD. It is a element type is file. I want to restrict it to one file. So I selected this as off, multiple files off. Accepted file type is PDF. And I have made it mandatory. These are easy configurations. Few clicks. Now I repeated the same thing for resume. Gave a field name. It is a file type that I want to accept. Again, I want only one resume to be uploaded at a time. File type is PDF. And definitely it is a required field. I hope you have all done this part. How do we want this form to behave? Should it submit and then leave, or should it wait for the response to come back? Some of you are still completing the step for completing the upload files. So I'll wait a moment for all of you to complete that part. Okay, I think most of you have added the two fields. Now scroll down. Respond when. There is one section there. Have you guys seen it? Respond when.
Rajesh,
Yeah. Sure.
Rajesh, if I may request, can you please slow down a little bit? Some users are, because they are first time user, it's getting difficult for them to manage the pace.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll just explain what we are doing by bringing up my screen. This is what we are trying to achieve. We want somebody to upload a job description file in PDF format, right? So we want that file to be uploaded, and we want to upload a resume that also is a file. So both have exactly the same configuration. That is what we have just seen in these two steps by adding these form elements. So since you can see this visually, you will understand what you're doing. So we are uploading a job description and a resume to compare. So the first part was the form title and description, followed by we clicked on add form element. The first one was the upload job description. As we said, it is a file type is file. We have a host of different other types. So the validations will be taken care of by n8n automatically. There is no need to write any code for this. We said that it will be a single file. We also configured it to receive only PDF files. We said that it's a mandatory field. If we have to submit this form, this upload has to be done. So this is the settings for a file upload. Since we wanted two files to be uploaded, I am repeating the same steps for the resume part of the upload. Are we good? Shall we start move on to the next configuration and the last configuration in this particular screen? This form, when do we want the form to end processing? So we are saying respond. By default, you have to check this section of your configuration. The form is submitted is what is there by default. We will change that to workflow finishes. We want the screen to wait until the workflow finishes because we want certain benchmarking and scores to be shared back with us. And that is the reason why we will choose. When you can see workflow finishes means what it is written there when the last node of the workflow is executed. So I'm choosing that. Please choose that. Respond when is the configuration. Just from the drop down, choose workflow finishes. That is the configuration we want. Please note form is submitted is what is there in the default. We will change that to workflow finishes. Are we done? Can we save this and move to the next node? We'll click on the canvas and then click on save. So next, logically thinking, what do we need to do? We have two files now uploaded by the user. We have to read those PDFs and get those content, right? So what we will do is, you see this plus sign on the right side of the form submission node. Click on that. That will again bring back. This is the, what do you say, the repertoire or the library of different nodes available with n8n. So we will look for a node to do this job. What is that job? To read the PDF file. Okay, so look for, as you can see in the documentation, in step number 6, extract from file. Just type extract and you'll see this, extract from file. And what is the file type? It is PDF. You can see here, extract from PDF. That is what I have selected. So I'll configure, I can change the name by just clicking on the caption. Instead of extract from file, I'll just I'll rename it to extract from JD. JD stands for job description. Same thing, I will do one more. Extract from file, extract from PDF. I'll rename. You can click on this zoom to fit button for bringing everything. So by any chance, if your wiring is wrong, then you can click on this delete button by hovering the mouse, because I wanted the connection to be like so from the form submission to the extract notes. So you can zoom in, zoom out. At any point, if it is out, completely off, then you can click on the zoom to fit. It will bring back the screen. So we have now two nodes in our workflow, one to extract the content from the job description PDF file, and one to extract content from the resume PDF file. Let us configure one by one. Let me know if you have added these two nodes. The configuration is going to be more or less the same. That's good. So since there is no input data yet on for the extract from JD or extract from resume to process, we will execute this workflow once. You can click on this red box here, execute workflow. That will start the workflow as we have done in the previous form. I'm going to upload a job description PDF. This is available on your desktop, and the lab will, you can browse to your desktop path and this file will be available to you. We have left a couple of files for you to quickly do this. I am now uploading. I have left 2 resumes here. Let us choose any one for now. And then click on submit. You can ignore this warning. Now, if you now double click the node, you will see some magic here, right? So now you have a binary file which was uploaded by us in the previous execution that is available to extract from JD to process. So we have to now tell extract from JD to process this file. I'll hold so that you are all with me up to this point.
Yeah, please give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, I think some of you are facing issue where your notes are not the way we showed. So let me help you fix that. So go hover your mouse over this connector and delete the connection. Bring it the way you would like it and then click on the plus sign on the right side of form submission. Click, hold and drag it to the extract from resume and do the same thing. Click, drag and touch the extract from JD. This way you will be able to bring it to this hierarchy or this workflow. This flow directions and connections can be rewired by doing this. I hope you have fixed it. So now you should all have a form, which is our trigger node where everything starts. Then it branches out. One will go into an extract JD and one will go into an extract resume. Okay, so if you are seeing no input data to your left side of the extract node, that means what you need to do is click this red button, execute workflow, the red big button, execute workflow. That will bring up the screen of the form. You can select the files which are already provided there. Choose any one of the resume and submit. And close this, ignore this warning. come back to the node. So when there's a node, n8n has a format where on the left side there is input, on the right side there is output. Okay, and configurations are in the middle. So this is the configuration or settings of that node. On to the left side is your input which is coming from the preceding node, and to the right is the output which this node generates, which is going to be an input for a subsequent node. I hope you understand how it is laid out. So let me repeat. Any node, this is a common structure for any n8n nodes. Any node will have its setup and configuration in the middle. To its left, you will see input. Input is something that this node will receive from its preceding nodes. You can see all the preceding nodes here. In this case, there's only one preceding node on form submission. On to your right is the output that this node, that is the extract from node, will generate once it executes. On your left is your input, on your right is your output. Okay. And how do we decide who is my preceding node? Through this connector. That is what is directing the data to flow. So basically you can see that n8n is acting like a glue for various applications and tools in your environment. And n8n provides thousands of integrations with so many applications here, which we can automate. So most of the applications that you would use in your organization, in any enterprise, there is an integration possible with n8n. I hope that is clear. There was a question in the chat. That is what I was explaining. What is the structure? Input, node, output. Now let us configure the extract from node. You will see input binary field. Come to that, please. And you will see there is a value which is data. Delete that. Make sure that your selection on the top of this top right of this corner input binary field is fixed. You can copy this name. This is the binary file that was uploaded by the user. I'm copying that, pasting it here. That's it. So please ignore the item has no binary field data on the output side because we have not yet wired it, right? So what is important is you should see upload job description on your left side, which is what we have copied and pasted onto the input binary field. You ignore this part. We'll come to that. As long as you see an upload job description, if you don't see that, go and execute that from the canvas. Execute workflow. And then come back here, you will see the binary file. If you don't see that, you can always scroll, click on binary, this section. Then you must see this, copy and paste here. Paste in the input binary field.
How did you get the upload job description in the input side?
This one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So someone asked, how did you get that on as an input? I clicked on execute workflow. Once I click that, The screen will be presented in front of me. I'll click on browse. So I am uploading a job description file, which is also available to you on your desktop in the same path. Click on job description and click on open. Similarly, browse. There are 2 resume files available there. Click any one, same path, click open. And then you do a submit. Make sure you do a submit. Just browsing for this path is not enough. Click on submit. Now you can close this window. Ignore these errors. Don't worry about this error at all. Now you open this extract node. You must see this. Okay, you will see both of this has.
No, 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 no.
Hi, Rajesh, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
So apps are running a bit slower. Labs are running a bit slow, Shivpriya. That is why it is stuck.
All right, yes.
Search for it. You can find a merge node. The icon looks like this. And in the merge node, select append. So what it means is, once a merge node is meant to take two inputs, like we have two inputs from these two extract nodes, right? Extract one from JD and one from the CV. We have to merge them together for further processing. And there is another important use of the merge node, because a merge node will make, suppose we have some parallel processing happening, and the next node will require all the inputs from all these parallel processing to be available so that it can proceed further or it can process further, right? So we can use the merge node to make it wait. I was talking about, you can see the merge node. I have selected append as the action. There are various action available here. You can combine it, we can query. So I have chosen append because these two inputs need to be merged together. Inputs from extract from JD and extract from resume. So the merge node must have inputs from extract from JD and input from extract from resume coming and merging to the merge node. So now for any node that I connect towards the right side of merge node will have inputs from both. So in case, extracting from the JD takes longer time and resume finished faster, extraction finished faster, merge node will make these two processing wait, or these two outputs are available together. Are we done with the merge node? We can execute and check. I have given my job description. I've given one of the resumes that is available to me. I'll submit that. Workflow executed successfully. If I click on merge node, I can see that both the outputs are now part of the output from the merge. So it has merged the two outputs. The inputs are clearly given here, yeah, on my left. Now I'm going to add the intelligence to this workflow. I am searching for, so just to reiterate, I'll click on the plus button here. Click on search and I will search for an AI agent. That will bring up an AI agent. As you can see here, there are multiple. Message and agent is another. So this is our AI agent. So we have to make a few configurations here. First of all, let us give it an LLM or a model to process. So type OpenAI. So you can see OpenAI chat model is available here. Click on that and it will ask for a credential. So in the first step, you would have all created the credentials yourself. That is what will get listed here. Since I had a lab reset, that credential is gone. So I'll be creating that once again. But in your case, you should see that if you remember the test successful green string came, right? That will get listed here. If not, we can create the key right here, right now. So just like that, I have created the OpenAI model and I am choosing that. See, this was not there before. Now I have it. So you should see a similar screen. OpenAI account, you should see this. Not like the empty one I saw. You can select that and then this will allow us to interact with a host of models here in this drop down, as you can see, right? So in that I'll go with for us the depending on the specialized task that you would be performing, you can choose a model of your preference. In our case, we'll be choosing the GPT Mini. So now the AI agent has got its brain, as you can see here, right? So that is done. We have to make a few more configurations for the AI agent, but let me know if you are done with this part. Have you connected OpenAI chat model? Do you see this kind of a view in your AI agent? Are you seeing this? I will save this occasionally. Great. So now we have an agent with the model connected to that. So now we want this AI agent to behave in a certain way, right? We have to write a detailed prompt to tell what it needs to be doing. So I'm going to change the default configuration and click on define below. That is the source for prompt. So I'm choosing to define my own. So this is the box where we will write the prompt. We have to write a very elaborate prompt. We can make use of ChatGPT. We don't have to be an expert in prompt as long as we know what is required. And once we work through a few prompts and we start seeing our responses, the result that is generated by the AI agent, you will automatically become very good at prompt tweaking. So what I do is I know what I need to do. So I go to ChatGPT, I go to Gemini, or there are certain specialized websites which can generate prompts. But I would say get your hands dirty. Initially, you can use these, but then I am seeing that I am more and more tweaking the prompts myself. That will give me the final results. Here in the prompt section, if you click on the expression, you can click on the bottom right corner. There is one button which will give us a bigger view because our prompt is going to be quite lengthy. The prompt that we usually give like a Google replacement in ChatGPT, that is very, very simplistic. So we will have to generate a proper prompt here. So what I would ask you to do is go to your desktop, right? There is a file called candidate prompt.txt. Have you seen that on your desktop? It's there in everybody's desktop. This is the file candidate prompt.txt. Just select all, copy. So I'll just quickly walk you through the prompt very quickly. Basically, we are saying that you will get two input files, right? Compare them. I am telling that there are certain ways to compare, etc. And I am telling that I want the output to be in a certain way. I want certain summaries. I want to tell what skills matched, what experience matched, what skill is missing, what is the experience gap. And I am also telling the AI to generate a score and give me a final recommendation. This can depend from organization to organization or team to team. I'm saying that anybody more than 80 or above should be recommended, or we'll say it is aligned. Otherwise, it is moderately aligned or not aligned. So I'm asking it to generate a certain amount of recommendation and a very detailed input for the interview panel about what are the skills that matched with respect to the job description for this role, and what is the gaps in terms of uh, hands-on technical skills or other skills. So I'm just copying this, coming back to my prompt area. I will paste it as is. Are you with me? So this green section, what you are saying is what I have hooked from the previous notes, right? So one is obviously you would be knowing that one is now the file extracted, the content extracted by the node from the job description, and the other is the resume. So these are the two inputs which is given. So I'm telling the AI model that here is the content. So now this has become a parameter. So for every resume, it will be different. For every job description, it will be different. We don't have to tweak the model. Model is very much capable of processing different file sets. Okay, right. If you look at the right side, you can already see that it got replaced by what was read from the job description file as well as the resume file, right? Great. So now the prompt is also ready. Inputs are hooked. Only thing which is pending is the output. If we execute this, we can need not execute the entire workflow. We can execute this node alone as long as the input is available. If you execute, you can see that the model is now processing the prompt, taking the inputs which we provided, and then it is using its brain. And let us see the output. Yes, there is a certain proper output which is generated. Now, this is not very good to see, is it? So what we will do is we will create a way of showing this in a decent fashion. So let us add one node to do that. Are you with me? So far, so good. So I will be using a form again, n8n form, but in a form ending. Make sure that you select form ending as the second option. I'll repeat this again. Come and search for form. You'll see n8n form. This is a variant of what we started as the trigger node, if you remember, where we uploaded the two files. Here I am selecting n8n form. It will again give us two options. Next form page and form ending. I have to select form ending. form ending. It is also part of the documentation if you want to revisit. So now, as you can see, the output from the AI engine is available as an input to the form, right? So let me know you have added this node and it is connected like this. If for some reason this connection is not, it is disconnected, just drag and click the connector between the two nodes, then you should be good. This is how it should look like. Your workflow should look like. If you have this node, this is the last node in this. Once the connection is made, you will see this input on your left side of the form. Okay, so let us give a nice title for our form. We can say candidate review summary. Okay, and that is done. Click outside so that you can see the next completion message. When we chose the n8n, we said form ending, right? Form ending, we need to show a message or we need to show the output generated by the AI. And that is what I am going to do here, right? The completion message field is what I am going to utilize. How? I will click on the output on my left side. If you can see, I am just moving it around so that you can all see that this is the output generated by the AI agent. I am dragging that, holding on to my mouse and dragging that and just dropping it here. Let me know if you face any difficulty in doing this. I'm just repeating this. Click on the output. This is the output generated by your AI agent. For some reason, if you are not seeing that, all you have to do is just execute the workflow once, then it would upload the files, AI agent will process it, and then the form will have this on your left side. I'm sure, some of you may be not seeing this output on your left side for the form node. Nothing to worry. Come back here, click on the execute workflow. That will make sure that the workflow is executed up till this point. The AI agent would have done its intelligent analysis of the resume, compared it with the job description required for this role, and generated an output. That is what we will drag. You shouldn't drag here. This is not the area to drag. The drag, you should click to output and then drag it here. Are we good? Shall we save this and then see the final output? I'm going to save it so that my work is not lost. Make it a habit, because n8n is notorious that it doesn't say. We might be working on a lot of nodes, and then for some reason, if we lose connection or something, we'll lose our work. So the entire workflow is now ready, all wired up. It is now ready to test end to end. If you are all with me, then we can try executing this workflow one time end to end and see the output. I think we can. I'll click on execute workflow. I'm going to test this workflow for two different type of resume. One which has a good match. This is a 90% match. I have generated a resume with 90% or 80%, so that we can see the workflows bifurcation in action. I'm submitting that. I'm waiting here. And if you see in the background, The AI is right now processing it. The file was read, the merge node activated, and the AI agent is now engaging the OpenAI to talk to a model, getting the comparison done, and the form has given me the output. If you see what is the output saying, the match summary, skills matched, it is saying between the job description and the resume, these are the various skills that matched, right? And then it is saying experience matched. What are the different experiences that the candidate has, which is required in our job role? What are the skills which are missing? That is also very clearly listed. That if there are any gaps in the experience, that is also listed. The fitment score is generated, and for this candidate, it is above 90. It's like 90%, and we are giving a recommendation that it is well aligned. Of course, this UI doesn't look great. We can hook it to a very nice looking UI and other things. Those are, beauty. What do you say? We can get that done using again AI. There are frameworks, AI-enabled frameworks for generating those kind of UIs. But then the workflow and the brain behind it is in here, and it has generated a very, very usable input even for the panel the interview panel to process. Now let us execute the same workflow for a different resume, which is probably not that great. Submit. Workflow is engaged. AI agent is now doing a detailed comparison. We can expect to see so imagine a human doing this, particularly in the recruitment. They probably will not be able to do a very comprehensive or a detailed comparison and skill set match. And now this is saying that, the alignment is 38%. The fitment score is 38%, and it is not very well aligned. And it is also giving us a very good analysis of where are the gaps. Now, imagine this can also be taken as an input for skill gap analysis, and we can actually prescribe what interventions are required to bridge this skill gap. Imagine that is also a possibility, right? Now the workflow need not stop here. The workflow can go ahead and schedule the interviews based on the panel's availability, the candidate's availability. Automated calls can be done, room booking can be done, all the interviews, logistics can also be automated. So until the point where the actual candidate and the interviewer meets. Now, I would even go on to say that we can even make an AI interviewer who can be given the inputs, that is the user input, which is already part of the resume. We can also take in inputs from their LinkedIn profile, GitHub, and things like that. And the AI agent can also be trained to be an interviewer. So the possibilities are limitless, but in this workshop, we are stopping at this workflow. We are limiting the workflow to showing a skill alignment or a gap analysis and a final recommendation and a fitment score. So that concludes our first workshop. I hope all of you are with me.
We are happy to take any questions. Please drop in your questions in the chat and I'll read them out to Rajesh. Rajesh, there's a question on which option on adding multiple resumes. I'm so sorry, I missed that question.
This one.
Just 1 minute. Yeah. And if you can shed some light on how prompt took the JD and CV values dynamically and how related relations have been made between the JD and the CV.
Sure. Yeah. So let me scroll back to the first node here. So if I have to enhance this workflow to process multiple resumes which are coming in dynamically for a job post, right? So what I can do is I can think of a few ways of doing that. A rudimentary way would be to look for a folder, a shared folder into which all these resumes will come and fall in. Or I can do a Outlook integration where the applicant has sent in resumes over an email. Or I can think of an integration where the resume is uploaded through our website, through our web portal is coming and falling into our SharePoint. I can think of multiple ways. It depends completely on your organization's way of soliciting resumes, right? So or we can even think of multiple channels for the same job description. So it depends on how your organization is processing or soliciting resumes. If you are working with a recruitment agency, you might be receiving bulk resumes. If you are receiving it directly from the candidates, then you might be taking it from a portal. So various sources, and we can even have them poll all these sources. That is also very much possible. So this is in this workshop, we have taken it as a user upload, right? There is no need for a job description to be uploaded every time. So that will be part of our system, and the candidate's resume will be coming in from various sources. We can have multiple connectors which will integrate with all those sources, bring it in, and then send it into the AI agent for processing. I hope that answers the first part of the question, which is how I can process multiple files. Moving on to the processing logic, right? So it all depends on your AI model and the way you are prompting or you have trained the model to do and what you have asked it to do. In this example, like I have given a overview of this prompt that we wrote. This is a very basic prompt in my, if I have to rate it, maybe a 2 out of a 10 for this workshop. So we will be writing a proper prompt which will do all kind of analysis, and we will not just be processing the resume as is. With AI, we will be able to do multiple sources of truth and validate, verify the different claims that the candidate has made in their resume. For example, if there is a certification that this person has claimed that they have done, we can validate that certification and stuff like that. The workflow can be enhanced, depending on what the organization requires. This is a proof of concept of what are the potential, what are the possibilities. So here the structure of the prompt was already discussed a while back. So we have asked it to process what are the skills that match, what are the experiences that match, are there any skill gaps, then call it out. Is there any experience gap that is not matching our job description? Call it out, generate a fitment score, and finally make a recommendation. That is going to summarize the whole prompt which is written here. I hope that answers the second part of the question.
Thank you, Rajesh. We have 25 more minutes before we can end. We can end before as well if there are no further questions. I think the mics are also enabled now. If you have any questions.
Shivpriya, hold on a moment. We would like to show the second assignment. What we will be doing is we will be demonstrating that straight away and giving it as an assignment for everybody to try. The lab will be available. I hope the lab will be available for another couple of hours, Shivpriya. 1 hour?
1 hour more. Yes,
Yeah,
1 hour more.
So let me quickly, I want to, show one more workflow that is to do with, suppose there is an investor. This is for the fintech, domain. So if there is a user who comes in and probably we will give them certain assessment questions. Based on the responses provided by the user, we will do a risk analysis of this person. So you guys can attempt a risk analysis by yourself and then generate a report, or you can go a step further and then we can even do investment portfolio curation, or something like that. So this is a scenario which is a real world scenario which is part of the NSC Academy. So we have done an automation of that. So let us quickly look at that. I'll click on create workflow. There is a nice way of importing a workflow. I have that already available here as a JSON file. As you can see, this is my workflow. So just to reiterate, my colleague says I went a bit fast. Import from files. Okay, so this will allow me to import. I can export also. If you see our previous workflow, I can export it as a JSON file and import it back again. So here I am clicking on these three dots on the top right corner. Import from file is the option I used. I have imported the JSON file for a workflow that I have done already. I am importing that. Now this is the workflow, right? So I've imported it now twice. Yeah. So I can click on this zoom to fit so that I can. So here, of course, the first thing I'll do is I'll connect my OpenAI account. I have two agents here. So I'm going to go and connect both of them to the models. Now, this section, let me zoom in a bit so that you can see the screen. The first section is where I am interviewing the user to understand his persona, his investment habits. If there is a market fluctuation, how will he behave and things like that. So basically we are determining the user persona in this section, the first section of the workflow. Now I am using AI to intelligently analyze this user's inputs and come up with a user profile, right? How much risk this person can take, what is his discipline, what is his reaction, etc. A lot of behavioral. That is why the first section was asking a few questions. We will see this in action. We will see this demo and then we will understand that. So the second section is where it is analyzing the user's risk profile. And if the risk profile is yielding to be something that the AI is feeling confident to recommend a portfolio, it will go ahead and recommend the portfolio in this section. Again, AI is utilized for coming up with a curated portfolio for this investor, right? So this is again AI in action. If for some reason the user's score, there is a score again, it's all numbers. Score is not confident inspiring. There are certain red flags for which the AI feels that it requires a human to maybe there are certain aspects which are not very healthy. There are certain red flags. Then a human is involved. So that summary of the user's risk profile, and there is no recommendation of portfolio is made for the user. So let us see this in action. It's a lengthy questionnaire because we got it from the NSC. So I'm going to give some dummy data. You need not go this elaborate with your responses. Oh, sorry, questionnaires. But the more the better, because somebody's behavioral analysis. How long do you plan to stay invested invested 5 to 10 years? What is your primary financial goals? Retirement planning and child's education. Do you currently have an emergency fund? I'm saying yes. I'm going to be a good investor. So let us see how it responds. What is your outstanding liabilities? Let us say 10 lakhs. What is your approximate current total investment portfolio? It is, let's go rich, 25 lakhs. To briefly describe your existing investment. Okay, I can be very descriptive. That is what, no drop downs and very rigid data. I can say that in my 25 lakhs, I will say 20% is in FDs and PF. 40% is in equity mutual funds. Rest is in real estate. So I can be very casual, like like you would communicate to a person. Then your investment knowledge and experiences. So we are now trying to assess this person's investment knowledge and this one. How would you describe your current knowledge? Beginner, I have very little. I have basic understanding. I have invested on my own. Okay, fine. Experienced significant losses. It was stressful, but I learned from it. Next. Okay, imagine your investment drops by 20%. What would you do? I will probably, but hold on to it. Just, randomly selecting a few things because it's a very lengthy. Okay, I'm submitting. Now I have answered all the questions. Based on these answers is what they will, the AI will assess my risk appetite and my risk assessment will be performed. It is now doing that. As you can see in this screen.
Rajesh, what we have to submit in the submission, like any screenshot or?
We will come to that. We will come to that.
Okay.
So now you are seeing that the user's profile, there is an if condition here. So the user profile has been, confidence inspiring for the AI to generate a portfolio recommendation. So it has made the recommendation. So it has given me a very nice. I am considered to be moderately conservative based on the inputs that I have given. It is giving me a justification why it thought so. So it is giving a lot of, 45 years, take some calculated risk, yet he is approaching life stage. So a lot of, useful information, and it is kind of giving a justification for the reason why it has put me into this particular category, right? And then it is saying that critical risk factors in my case is what existing liability is this, that, your recommended investment portfolio, etc., etc. I'm not saying that this is accurate, but this is what is the possibility. So it is giving a equity portfolio, debt portfolio. You should invest here. You should invest there. You should put it into gold. You should put it into international equities, etc. And it is also giving me a rationale for giving me this portfolio. Why this portfolio was suggested is also generated within no time. Imagine this kind of an analysis being done by a human would probably take more time. We can make this a much more complicated or not complicated, evolved, we can give it an evolved brain. We can train it with the proper financial advisor, or this can act as an input to the advisor, right? So basically, this is the workflow. Maybe you can start with, user risk analysis and determine a risk profile. That would be an assignment that you can do. Generating a portfolio may not be possible in the next 1 hour. You can try if you are done with this part.
Thank you all for joining. Please put in your questions in the chat. The chat would be still enabled for a couple of minutes more. Please put down your questions so Rajesh can answer those questions in the chat for you. If you have any other further doubts, you can email me as well, and I'll loop in the expert Rajesh and his team members over there for you to answer. The YouTube link would be shared in a week on our New Pros YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it, and you can review us on G2 as well. I put in the list, put in the link over here in the chat. And if you need any more such personalized demos from Rajesh for your team, please write down to us on my email ID, and I'll loop in Rajesh and his team to give your team a personalized demo like this. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye.